Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, It's Count here with a brand new Pokemon Go discussion video. And oh boy, we got ourselves a really big controversy to talk about. Recently, Niantic decided to try out this lure module box with a dynamic price. And yeah, it's definitely ruffled a lot of feathers within the Pokemon Go community, and rightfully so, because something like this is pretty shady. I'm going to be talking about all of that in today's video, so let's roll the intro and jump right into it. Okay, so if you visited the Pokéshop recently, you may have noticed a brand new box appear in the shop, and it is a box that contains 4 different kinds of lure modules for a varied price. Believe it or not, this price is actually dependent on how much you've spent on Pokemon Go in the past, as many players have reported that some of the heaviest spenders have seen boxes that have cost upwards of 500 to 700 Pokecoins, whereas free-to-play players who have barely spent any money in Pokemon Go have even seen boxes that are completely free. Now, on paper, this is not seemingly a big deal, because first and foremost, lure modules are not something that a lot of players are clamoring for, and of course when it comes to free-to-play players, they are always going to be given a disadvantage compared to those who are heavy spenders, so for Niantic to give them something to kind of boost their gameplay is always a good thing. But I do think that this sort of mechanic does set a very negative precedent for Pokemon Go, and here are the reasons why. First and foremost, this sort of mechanic really does not work for just encouraging people to spend money in the game. I mean, yes, you are giving free-to-play players a lot of good benefits, but for those who are spending money in Pokemon Go, you are essentially punishing them for spending money, and that's going to discourage them from spending money in the future. I mean, let's be realistic here. This is a free-to-play game, but it is supported by the whales. I mean, if people are spending money in Pokemon Go, it's going to keep this game going, and it's going to get Niantic to continue developing this game. We saw recently that Harry Potter Wizards Unite is officially canceled, and it's probably because people were not spending money in that game. If you actually look at Harry Potter Wizards Unite, there weren't that many mechanics that encouraged you to spend money in that game. And because of that, the game was probably not generating any kind of revenue. And that is probably why Niantic just completely kicked it to the curb. For what it's worth, Pokemon Go is the biggest cash cow for Niantic right now, and probably even for the Pokémon Company. And for them to release a mechanic like this, it's going to be extremely controversial, it's going to generate a lot of backlash, and in general, it's just not smart as a business decision. In my opinion, something like this can work in a vacuum. Like if you are not spending money in Pokemon Go, then they could have this sort of thing in the Pokéshop for you to have so that you can still enjoy Pokemon Go without being so drastically behind the big spenders. And that sort of mechanic is a good thing for Pokemon Go, especially as someone who went free to play recently. I do think that it is extremely difficult to keep up with those who are spending hundreds of dollars weekly in order to buy as many remote raid passes and incubators as they so please. I obviously do not have as many shinies and hundos as other players, and this is something that I've noticed once I stopped spending money in Pokemon Go. So yeah, I could totally see what Niantic was trying to pull off here for free-to-play players, but I just think the execution was just really poor. I mean, yes, I do think that free-to-play players need some more benefits because the gameplay is very lacking if you are choosing not to spend any money in this game. The game as it currently is designed right now, it's definitely going to favor those who spend heavy amounts of money in this game. I mean, if you are trying to get the best raid bosses, then you will need to fork out a lot of money for those remote raid passes. It's kind of a reality with this game. You're not going to be able to get those hundos and shundos and shinies if you're only using your free raid pass every day and the free remote raid pass that we've been getting weekly. But to give free-to-play players that benefit at the detriment of those who spend money in this game, I think is a very poor business decision. They need to come up with different things that will help free-to-play players in a vacuum, like I said, but yeah, I just don't think the right way to do it is to punish players who are choosing to spend money in this game, because for those players, they already have themselves an advantage, which they are buying with their hard-earned money. So yeah, leave the whales alone, but help free-to-play players out. I think that should be the goal for Niantic. So what could Niantic do to make this sort of mechanic work? Well, like I said, I do think it needs to be in a vacuum. More specifically, it should only be targeted to players who are choosing not to spend money in this game, because if you think about it, giving players who do not spend any money some premium items, that will kind of encourage them to buy premium items in the future. Because if you think about it, you're giving them a little bit of a taste of what it's like to spend money in Pokemon Go by giving them some premium items for free every now and then. And sure, it might make those who are already spending money in this game a little bit salty because they're not getting these free bonuses every now and then. But for those players, you can give them a different kind of bonus, maybe some sort of discount because they've been spending money, so that you encourage them to continue spending money without being egregious. That's ultimately what it comes down to. The less shady Niantic is, the better it is going to be for the community at large. Give free-to-play players some more benefits, but at the same time give some new different kinds of benefits to whales so that they can be encouraged to continue spending money. I don't know, whatever it could be, they need to come up with something that's different from what they just implemented, because this lure module box is definitely not it. It's just a poor business decision, and I do think that a lot of players are going to be really unhappy about something like this if it's implemented for items that people actually do care about. For example, with remote raid passes, or with the adventure box or the ultra box. Like any of these boxes were to have a dynamic price to them, it's just going to create one subset of players to become really salty, while another subset of players might enjoy the benefits of it. In general, it's just not a good look for Niantic or Pokemon Go. So yes, I do think that the way the mechanic is set up right now with this lure module box, I do think Niantic just needs to completely ditch it and come up with something different. Like I said, there's plenty of ways Niantic could cater to both free-to-play players and the whales and make everyone happy, and yeah, something like this is definitely not it. I mean, for crying out loud, if they're going to increase the price for people who spend a lot of money in Pokemon Go, then at least increase the number of lure modules in the box to match it. It just doesn't make any sense to me that Niantic would implement something like this, because just at the core of it, it's just a poor business decision, and it's just going to generate a lot of backlash like it did already. So yeah, all in all, back to the drawing board for Niantic. I really hope they do not do this again, and if they do, I do think it's our right as a community to voice our concerns regarding it and provide the feedback that we do not like this sort of mechanic. And yeah, I really do hope Niantic listens to us when we do give that feedback. They've been up and down when it comes to that in the past couple of years, so I'm just not putting my hopes up at this point. I really do think that something like this is detrimental for the long term of Pokemon Go, and I just really hope that Niantic makes the right decisions in 2022, because I really do want to see this game last for several more years, because I do enjoy Pokemon Go at the end of the day. It's just little things like this that sour the experience, and yeah, these are just my thoughts on the whole matter. I would definitely like to know your thoughts down below. What do you think about this lure module box? Are you really unhappy about it, or are you indifferent about it? Or maybe you're someone who really enjoys it. Definitely let me know why in the comment section below, and let's have a great discussion, because this is definitely going to be a hot topic for a little bit of time now, and a lot of people are going to have different opinions on it, and it's going to generate a lot of discussion. So yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you ended up enjoying it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And I am Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.